second. Welcome, everybody. It is Transformation Tuesday. Oh, I got to make sure the camera's working. Well, it's not quite, so just bear with me one moment. There's one of the cameras. Let's see if we can get the other camera working. And bear with me, there's a lot happening. And so every Tuesday night I talk about Transformation Tuesday. We go on, we talk about the book, Decode Your Pain. And tonight we're talking about a couple things that are happening in the world today. We're talking about, there we are live. The camera is working again. Excuse me, everybody. It's Christmas Eve here in the United States of America. And hello there, Pearl. Welcome. And if you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, if you're tuning in one of the other channels, you can comment, as well as on Instagram. They have something separate going on. And so there's all kinds of audiences around the world. Let me just peek in on the chat here. Anything's happening there? Good. So, hello, Pearl. Welcome aboard. Please share, like, subscribe. You know, this is about personal growth. This is about understanding how our body and our mind work together. There's a secret language going on within us, and how we interpret the secret language is everything. And when I talk about everything, well, yes, it's around our health. Yes, it's around our life. It's around how we relate to other people in our lives. It's around how we work in our professional field, how we do at our job, how we do at school, how we do with our neighbors, our friends, and all the things that we desire in life. So before I get ahead of myself, let me check in with everybody. Let me know where you're from. How's the volume coming in? Especially on Instagram, how's the volume coming in? I don't have a microphone there. I'm live with a mic other places. So if the volume's good, give me some thumbs up. You know what? You can text me. You can message. Where are you from in the world? Let me know. I like to know where people are from. I've had people from. I used to live in Thailand. I lived in South America. I lived throughout the U.S. in different places. So I've made connections, and I connect with people around the world. And now what I'm doing is, in my professional life, I am a holistic healer. I'm a doctor of chiropractic, board certified. I'm a holistic physician. So I study genetics, nutrition, detoxification. I'm a herbalist, beginning stages on top of my studies here. And getting into, I've been studying energy healing and different forms of energy healing for more than 10 years now, closing in on 12. And a lot of the insights from traditional Chinese medicine, meridian healing, and what I've realized, what I've come to know, is there's a lot more to the human body, a lot more to what makes us tick than what we've been taught in a normal way. And so we all have desires. We all have wants. We have needs. And we want to bring them in our life. We want to have a better life. And this is how I got started in my journey. Pain has brought me to deeper awareness. And that's why when you have problems in life, when there's difficulties in life, there's actually something good in there for you. And so I'm going to show the audience, and everybody else except for Instagram, the screen here. And it's a quote. And I'm going to zoom in on it if I can. The doctor of the future will give little medicine, but will interest his patients in the care of the human frame, diet, and in the cause of disease. The cause and prevention of disease. It's covered by how this website's being shown up on the small screen here. So nonetheless, the doctor of the future. And this is a website of someone I admire in the holistic nutrition world. When I say about holistic nutrition, we're having some hiccups here. What I really mean by holistic nutrition is food that is aligned and congruent with how your body operates. See, you are nature. Everything can be found in you in a natural process. In fact, you are categorized. If we could categorize the species and kingdom of how we look at plants and animals, we are of mammalian descent. We are in this category. We are warm-blooded. Yet we have this other experience in life: our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, our consciousness. People would call that. So that being said, Transformation Tuesday, today we are what was I showing you here? So where we are at the top here. Oh, seize the day. Okay, carpe diem. So I was talking with a gentleman the other day, and we talked about carpe diem, seize the day. And he goes, did you know there's another phrase, there's another term, another understanding of that word carpe in this Latin context, and it means savor the day. So that got me really interested in wondering what was the definition of seize the day, carpe diem, savor the day or seize the day, carpe diem. And so this is something that's been ingrained in me over the years of my life. You hear this in movies, you hear this just in personal growth, in business development. We hear this idea of seize the day. And what does that mean for you? If you have give me some feedback, what does that mean for you? Seize the day, carpe diem. And oftentimes for me, it meant that I had to go out and get something. I had to go attack. I had to bring in the bacon, if you would. There's all kinds of analogies, but I had to go out and do it. I had to go out and create it. If I thought that it was interesting, then I had to go accomplish that. And while it is important, savor the day. If there's multiple layers of translation for this phrase, and I don't know about you, but oftentimes I find myself using slang terminology. Like instead of hello, I might say what's up. Now someone this is funny because when I lived in other countries, this is my experience. I don't know why that's ticking, my volume's ticking out and in here, excuse me. But when I was in foreign countries, my experience was learning the language. I was very literal in understanding. And when I observe foreigners here in the United States, when slang term is used, well, then there is this misunderstanding of the phrase being communicated. So when a foreigner wants to say hello, they say hello. But if someone says what's up, unless they've been introduced to this phrase and explained how it works, when they say what's up, they may say nothing is up. They may say, well, and they look up. Physically, they'll look up, what's up? And the sky, the tree, or the ceiling, whatever is above you. And so this idea of savor the day, seize the day, carpe diem, got me thinking, got me considering, got me switching my perspective on how I was viewing my life's events, my day-to-day happenings, all the crap that happened, all the horrible events, all the disappointment, all the excitement, all the good things, all the breakthroughs. Savoring the day. That's like being in the moment. It's like, what else have you heard out there? Comment for me. What have you heard out there that this relates to? Seize the day. Carpe diem. Savor the day. Okay, savor the day is where we're at. Savoring the day. Enjoying the moment. Smelling the roses. And when one can do these things, I call this awareness. And when we have awareness, we can then understand and listen those subtle changes in our environment. And that means inside and outside. What I forgot to mention, and since you're still on with me, if you're on with me right now, this is a great time. So I'll make this brief announcement. In a few minutes, typically my Transformation Tuesday lasts about 30 minutes long. And it's 5:11. We're about 10 minutes in. I started about a minute late. In a few minutes, what I'm going to do is a live remote distance healing. I get paid for this. I have a business around this. I'm connected to other companies that help me operate this. And so what I want to do, though, is help people understand what this is and feel and experience. And this is a wonderful time of year, not just because it's Christmas Eve. And I also have some challenges with Christmas and the definition of Christmas and the symbols. And in fact, if you're on YouTube, you'll see the infographic. I'm going to flash it for everyone here. What I built for the YouTube thumbnail is this image. And I'm going to show everybody here on Instagram. So bear with me, Instagram. Here we go. I built this image for everybody here, and you could see there's 4 pieces to the puzzle. I like this one personally. This gentleman staring at the stars out in space. Here's a different kind of symbols. I want you to pay attention to the symbols on the bottom right of the entire infographic. Just notice what they invoke in you. Notice what they mean to you. Here we have an archer, a female archer, aiming high and far, leaning in danger. I specifically, let me put the Instagram back in the right spot here. 1 second, Instagram. Thanks for joining in. Now, if you're just tuning in, you're going to want to go back and watch this Instagram and take a look at this image. And the image has 4 parts. Lean into danger. It's basically an analogy for where we've been in challenging times, energetically speaking, the world itself. There are patterns at play here. And what I'm talking about is how, essentially, and this is the analogy I want you to understand, is that we, just like the weather, we all have to adapt to the changes, whether it's hot or cold, freezing or burning, and anywhere in between, pleasant or not, raining, dry, whatever the weather condition, the human body, so your physical body has to adapt, and your emotions change. Your enjoyment of the environment, whatever the weather is, whatever your enjoyment is, it will change also based on the weather. Not because of the weather, but because of the perceptions and what you assign to those weather patterns. It's really intriguing. And so what happens, what we're talking about here is awareness, and we're talking about seize the day, carpe diem, but really, in addition, there's also additional translation, savor the day. And this got us into awareness within, awareness in our external environment, awareness of our environments. And this translates into how our bodies are functioning, literally, how comfortable you are, how much you can walk, how strong you are. These things are affected by our states of mind and the state of our physical body, how it's able to operate. And this is also based on the the piling on of our life's traumas and challenges, plus our successes and wins and breakthroughs. So there's this fine line balance going on all the time with our mind and our body and our environment. And there's some other factors in here. However, awareness is how you progress. Now, we are at a time, bring it back here, it's Christmas Eve, but also tomorrow night is a solar eclipse. And solar eclipses, there's 2 of them that happen every 6 months, give or take a few days here and there. And this is energetically a shift of the cycle, and we are in it again. However, this time there is more significance because there's more alignments. There's more things. There's cycles that are completing that haven't completed in a long time. So there's many, many kinds of cycles, and there's many relationships in the stars and the planets which affect us. Now, if I'm throwing you a curveball, and what I'm explaining about what's going on is, well, we need to take a step back and understand that we are energetic beings. And this is why MRIs work, this is why EKGs work, this is why brain scans work, because we are energetic beings. If you talk to any chemist, biologist, physicist, any scientist, any medical doctor, we know, any holistic practitioner, physician of any sort, understands that at the smallest part, you are made of electrons and protons and energetic forces that are holding things together. And we are affected by things externally and internally by our emotional state, and this has been clearly demonstrated. Our mind affects our physical body, and there's a whole map to the body. That's what this book's about. But we need to also progress beyond that and understand there's forces outside of us that are causing us shifting and change as well, and how we adapt is important. Or if we don't adapt, well, that means death. So it could be physical death, yes, but it could be some other sort of death, and this is analogies for many other layers of consciousness, of mind, of possible life, if I could say it this way. How do I say it? Life outcomes. So what I'm offering, what I offer is personal growth. What I offer in my life is to help share knowledge of how the mind and the body and life integrate and work together. And do I have it all figured out? By no means do I. However, I have been studying this and dedicating my life to this for over 20 years. And I have wonderful teachers in my life, and I'm very blessed to do the things that I do. And right now, what I'm doing, essentially, it's like a wake-up call. It's a warning. It's a heads up. We are moving into this time in the next 24 hours about setting our targets in life in many ways. And if you haven't yet invested in understanding what your life is and the different layers of life, what they are, well, you're in for some changes. You're in for some awakening. You're in for some insights, and sometimes that's not comfortable. Healing sometimes is not comfortable. So, why did I pick those images? You know, if you tuned in recently, I'll flash the image again. Pop that back up here. So we're seeing a couple things happen. Oh my goodness, I'm hitting the mic. Our camera stand's moving. All right, there's the image. All right, so we've gone through challenges all year, and there's some more challenges ahead of us for the next year. All right, so lean in when there's pressure challenging you. Lean into it. I'm using this image of the stars and the man standing there because it's an understanding of we need to look what's happening. And there's people who study the relationships of these movements, of these electromagnetic energies, and we are affected by them. And we are in a transition time. And this is an important transition time. We've been building for these moments for people who are alive, that are over 30 years old, over 35 years old. Excuse me, if you were 37, you were born into this pattern. And if you're older than 37, then this pattern is, you felt it come on and then it's releasing. There's also a 10-year pattern that's connected to this. And of course, there's a 1-year pattern, a 6-month pattern, and a 30-day pattern that are releasing. And then we're also launching into a new cycle of these things. Now I'm using symbols over here on the bottom right because life has been showing you things, and how we are emotionally responding to them is important to identify how to move forward. Life happens to us, yet there's meaning behind everything that's happening. And how we dissect and decode what's happening makes an important change. And then we can balance and improve our behavior if it's not giving us a result that we desire. In the top right, aiming high. Now is the time to aim high. This is a launching of a 37-year cycle, a launching of another 10-year cycle. It's the end of a decade, the beginning of a new one. There's a lot happening. And this is about creating your best life. I want to be real about this, you know. And where are we? It's 5:21. So we're 4 minutes away from the online healing, the remote healing, okay? So thanks for staying tuned. Get back to the cameras on both sides here. Got a couple things happening. So the reason I'm picking the arch, and I mentioned the archer, and it's about knowing that life is working for us. You know, sometimes I get so caught up in trying to identify what's breaking us down, and that's part of my job. Structurally, emotionally, mentally, energetically, nutritionally, I help people identify what's wrong in their life so they can then build it and correct it. And sometimes I forget to focus for myself about, well, where am I going? What am I building? What am I creating? What am I moving towards? What am I becoming better as a human, as a man? And for me, specifically, as a man, as a father, as a partner, someone has to relate, as a son, as a brother, as a friend, as a business owner. There's all these hats that I wear, and there's balance that needs to be had. And yet I had desires in my life, and this is a time to set that vision and set it high. But understand, you have momentum in your life around certain areas. And if you're switching, if you feel like there's been a calling and there's a switch, and you've been putting energy into some expansion, well, set that target regardless of how high and how far that it is. Set it, and you keep moving towards it. Now, there's strategies that can be had to help bring about that in a more effective and powerful way for you. And that's a good thing, and that can be done. And that is, you know, I can share with you all kinds of things that I've done. And go to my website, drkeving.com. You can see the things I post out there about what's going on and what I've done and the trainings I've had and the coaches that I've used. And And I've created all my own products and services. But what we need to know is that if we can set our target, we move towards that. And if we can create anything in our mind, it can be created in reality. So thanks for tuning in on Instagram. And so if you're here now, we're going to be starting in with a remote healing. And we need to lean into the challenges that are coming our way. Some of these things we need to really have an insight within, a gut check about how we're operating, and some things are being cut away. And that's what this end of this next 25 hours are before this next big shift of energy happens. And then we're moving forward. And we're moving forward into things that ideally that you desire to create in your life that are benefiting you and your loved ones and the people that are receiving the services. And this is how we make a positive cycle start to happen. I'm going to go this way, specifically clockwise around my body. So that being said, if you're joining us for this remote healing, what I'm going to have you do is simply just breathe in 3-4 times, settle in, have awareness of your feet, have awareness of what you're sitting on, what you're standing on. And we want to let go what needs to let go and essentially burn down, so to speak, burn down the old structures that aren't working, that aren't nurturing us in a healthy way, wherever they are, whatever aspect of our life. Just be aware that there's time for transition, transformation. That's why this is Transformation Tuesdays. This is about mind, body, spirit, soul awareness, awakening, and healing, so that you can align yourself with your greatest vision to live the greatest life that you desire. And that's what I am doing in my life. And ultimately, that's what I'm sharing with everyone out there. And I'm doing this through my physical hands-on services, my one-on-one services. I'm doing this through my internet business ventures. And ultimately, there's a bigger healing holistic campus where it's a whole new way of perception of living and understanding how our bodies work. And this is not new. It's been forgotten in our society, or it's been attacked in our society. Yet there's still remnants available, and all we need to do is bring it together. And there's huge movements towards that. So that's my vision. Where are you putting your vision? So wherever that is, whatever healing needs to happen, it's happening. There's a huge part that came along through this past days when heal. And I ask for you to have the eyes to see what needs to be seen, the ears to hear what needs to be heard, and the heart to open up and to release, to free yourself. This is as much for you as it is for me. So we're doing this essentially this remote healing now. And what's happening, anyone who's tuning into this at any point that you're seeing this, and I'm not going to explain the science, but it's there. The energy of you is in this spot right in front of me. I'm holding a vision of it right now. And in that spot, there's areas that are what's called distorted. And I'm going to shift that area. And I want to know if you notice anything. So type in your feedback. Now, there's no claims of any health or healing or any of that. That's a legal type of thing. I'm going to do to, cover my own ass type stuff. However, with that being said, you have to define for yourself how this may or may not be helping you. And let me know how it goes. I appreciate that. So I pulled out. So before I begin, I'm going to take a deep breath myself. Set that intention. All right. I'm ready. Are you? Great. Let's go. So I'm pre-prepared. I pulled out a few essential oils, and essential oils are great because, number one, they're highly potent nature's remedies, right? When I say nature's remedies, is just like if you were to eat some oranges or citrus fruit or something like that, there would be an amount of vitamin C you would consume. And if you look up something called scurvy, you would see that sailors in the past would suffer this horrible illness. You could call it a diagnosable disease these days, which it is. Excuse me while I rub. And when people ate these citrus fruit, they no longer got scurvy. Interesting. Now, the citrus didn't heal scurvy. It gave the body the ingredients it needs to not express those symptoms that can be categorized and then therefore diagnosed as scurvy. However, we're just filling a need the body has to stimulate itself to respond to the environment, nature, in a balanced way. So, this one's spearmint, something called Balance, which has spruce, frankincense, blue tansy, blue chamomile, and peppermint. These oils all have many wonderful traits. Energetically, you are receiving them. It's helping you. Okay. Now, I've been doing energy healing in addition to my normal chiropractic physician's duties for about 12 years now. And as I've been told and shared, and I would say professionally training for 12 years, I have had natural weirdness in my life, my entire life. Deja vu, dreams of the future, all kinds of weird stuff that people would call weird. Anyway, so if you're just tuning in, bear with me. What we're doing is a remote healing session. It's something complimentary I do on my Transformation Tuesdays once in a while, but here I am going to do it tonight, really for the first time live. I have a business where I do this online with people. In fact, I have invited other doctors to do this. But right now, we are helping to smooth out any distortions in the energy field. And what happens is you get connected. If you are intending to get help, if you want help from this, you will receive the help. If you don't want any of this, then, number one, click off. Number two, you won't get it if you don't want it. It's all about your intention around this. Excuse my cough. So, if you have questions about what I'm doing, please just send me a message. Please just send a note if you're on one of the live videos, and I'll help you. I'll help check in on that. And let me check in on the chat in the other group right now. Okay, I think we're okay there. No questions at this point. Thank you, everybody. And that's doing good. All right. So I'm using something called KST as a diagnostic method. It's a technique to identify when, where, and how, and what method to use. So when, where, and how. And once I know what, where, then I find out how, and I do the work. I find out from a feedback, and this is neurologic. Well, it's called. I think I'm going to give you a scientific name for what I'm doing. It's called neurologic biofeedback, and I'm using my own system as the biofeedback mechanism. And what's happening is I've asked anyone who's participating to tune in and connect here and now, and I'm putting my hands here as the parameters in which I desire to be connected with anyone else who wants the healing, who wants the alignment, who wants the intention of what we've been talking about during this Transformation Tuesday tonight. And as I do this work, anyone who's connected to it will have some type of shift. And I'm doing this in alignment with a couple different things. One, I'm having some growth in my internet businesses around this type of product. So I wanted to share more of it. It's going well. I have personal growth stuff online, but that's something I'm growing. And I want to be able to give more to help people connect and learn how to do this for themselves more. And it is through the medium that we have, the internet. Now I have live stuff, of course. And I want to put that on here for everybody. I guess I'm saying that live here now. And yeah, I need to live, I need to earn, I need all that stuff, just like anybody else out there. So there's hopefully low barriers, easy ways to get in and connect. And I just want to help people sample as much and then learn how to do some of the stuff themselves. I mean, I call it becoming your own healer, and it's an amazing thing. And you really can. You really have the ability. I have some natural gifts. I'm blessed with many things in this world. With that said, one of these gifts is sharing the knowledge with you. And this is what we need to do to help each other, to help everyone here. And I know we all want a better place to live, breathe, operate, and there's forces that are trying to control, manipulate that. And it's like life is almost like Star Wars. Well, now here I am talking about something like that. That's wild. But yeah, in many ways, and maybe because I watched this a ton when I was a child, but in many ways I feel like a Luke Skywalker. I wonder if that's been crafted on purpose. Anyway, that being said, I think, yes, we are clear. So, I want to have everyone, I wish well for everyone. I wish well for everyone. I'm purposely not saying Merry Christmas. I have a lot of problems with it, and I'm hoping you're wondering why I do have a lot of problems with that. And not because of anything bad that happened on that day, on December 25th of any year, but all the symbolism that goes on. And when I continue to dive into the meaning and metaphor of all the Christmas lore, all the Christmas stuff, it's very concerning. So there's a lot of material out there, and I don't necessarily know I do know where I would point you. But this is a journey for yourself to identify. So I wish you a good day, I wish you a good evening, I wish you a warm day, whatever else you're doing out there. I wish good things for you in this transition. So it happens to be coinciding with a majorly practiced holiday, which is the shift occurring at around 1 o'clock in the morning on December 26th. And we're all shifting towards our potential greatest life. So I hope that you can heal what you need to heal. I hope that you can embolden and enrich what you're building and creating. And if you haven't yet created anything, I hope this is the inspiration for you to begin to set those targets for a greater life for yourself and everyone that you interact with. Blessings and best regards. I'm Dr. Kevin. Have a wonderful evening.